Crawford Studios. The opera scene, when they're watching the that weird opera, and this is the scene when he tells Anakin, the Darth Plagueis the Wise. You don't remember that scene?
Yes,
they're watching.
yes.
They're watching the.
Yeah.
What is?
I remember.
It's just
they're in like an opera theater.
Yeah, and there's if you watch, there's like dancers jumping in and out of these like floating globs of water.
I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah. So. You got this weird atmosphere again with that, like this, just like it sounds like so weird.
Right.
You got the weird music, the dialogue, and the whole scene is a little eerie. So that's the scene when you start really learning about Palpatine's manipulations and how he's he gives him that whole story about Darth Plagueis the Wise, just the
tragedy of Darth.
Yeah, the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Yes. He gives him that whole story in order to tell him to save, people's lives. Now that's the other thing. These dreams, he knows that's where he's had to be planting those dreams in Anakin.
Yeah.
Because it's again kind of on the nose the way that happens, and then he immediately is in this very personal meeting with him.
Right.
Exactly. It's the timing is just too perfect.
Right.
And of course, major red flag in everyone's mind is supposed to, if you're, deeply well versed, is supposed to be the part where he says the tragedy of,
yes.
That's like whoa, what do you mean?
Right.
Exactly. Because, he was the apprentice. That's the other thing too, is his apprentice killed him. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a self-report moment for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Guess what?
Yeah. So
a bit of a Freudian slip from Sidious there.
Yeah,
it's all right. Yeah. It's all fucking good,
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole scene, he's just he's manipulating Anakin, and it's just like you can see the whole thing happening, unfolding right there.
They do this cool thing in that scene too. It's very slight, but a lot of those shots slowly go in, even though it's panning back and forth between the two of them as they're having the conversation and you're seeing the gears turning. Every shot that goes back and forth between the two of them, it's slightly going in towards them as though he's like creeping.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man. I think that last part of the movie, well, just those little scenes in the movies are everybody held their breath.
Best for last.
Well, no, I'm saying like everybody held their breath. Like, oh shit, what's he gonna say next? Shh, don't say nothing. Wait. You know what I mean? And just, no, Anakin, don't do it. What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? He's playing you. You know what I mean? Like everybody's just, just watching it happen.
It's the most captivating episode. Like,
I think so.
Act for act within itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
a lot of shit in that one.
Yeah, and that's what, and again, that's why we were so vested in all of these characters. You know what I mean? Why it is we can watch, like I said before, standalone, show on any one of the characters because they all have something to do with Anakin.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whether that they bought him a fucking soda or that, he fought next to them. It was that he had that presence with them.
Right.
And like I said, we basically watched him grow up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just Anakin, not,
right.
the actor, but we watched Anakin grow up. It was that he has a crush on Padmé. You know what I mean? And then now he's, they got a secret affair and now he's getting, having these dreams that we're sitting back. It's like, no, just fight the good fight. You're going to be okay. And then, in actuality, we find out that it was,
exactly.
These nightmares were
dropped into his brain.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and then, now we we can think anyways. Every time we saw, what's his face sitting in the corner, looking out into space, hood on, sitting in the cut, is because he was getting into somebody else's mind, reading minds or, just reading the room. Like, he was using his ESP, you know what I mean, to really find out what's going on. That's why he was able to do everything he did, just setting everything up. That motherfucker. You know what I mean?
So while all this is going on, you also have Obi-Wan.
Right.
His story arc.
Right.
Because they do split up and it's kind of like the last time. There is a scene when it's like the last time Anakin and Obi-Wan see each other.
Yes. Right. Very important Clone Wars scene.
Yes, sir.
So they finally see each other, right? But now you got Obi-Wan. He's on the hunt for Grievous.
Yes.
And he gets on planet. And I do want to mention something that really, it's a pet peeve of mine. Because because they did it right in Revenge of the Sith. The species that the Grand Inquisitor on is in that scene in Revenge of the Sith. He's the one that's like, he's here,
Yes, right.
That's the same species as the Grand Inquisitor, and then they had that guy that looked like fucking Billy Corgan. You know what I mean?
Right. No, you're right.
They could have had him look just like that,
right,
and just had the the markings. I don't know if they're tattoos or whatever, or he paints his face, but he had those markings, the Grand Inquisitor on his head, and that's all they had to do.
Right.
But no, they had to change it. But anyway, but they get that scene, and again, that's an important scene, and that you can tell, like, you got to understand it, and it kind of shows you, like, that's a very scary looking character, but that's just his species.
Right.
He's actually not a bad guy. He's like telling him, like,
he looks intimidating.
Yeah, he looks very scary. You're like, well, this guy's going to be like You think he's going to be like, you think he's going to be like, when he's like, oh no, we're fine here. He's like, oh, he's protecting him. Look, that guy's such a villain. Look at that guy. He's a villain. He's like,
he's a bad guy.
It's like, oh, he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's why, like, even with Chewbacca, we use Chewbacca as an example. You know what I mean? Everybody looks at Chewbacca like, oh shit, he's scary. And meanwhile, he's like, can I have, cupcake?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, he's one day. Yeah. Shut up, Chewie. You know what I mean? Han Solo talking to him the way he did. Get out of here, you furball. You know what I mean? A lot of these, that's why so many characters. It's just crazy. I think I just bug out with how many characters, strong characters that there are, species that there were, and nobody saw this shit coming.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
There's I believe
there at the beginning.
There's a Wookiee Jedi in the Clone Wars too.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
Yeah, there's a small. They did a small arc of younglings where one of the younglings was a
younglings is a true.
Yes, I recalled that.
Yep.
They were getting their crystals for their lightsabers.
Yes, sir. Yes, they were. That's right.
And also in the Acolyte, there's a
right. Yes, there is.
There's a Wookiee.
There is. So again, wouldn't know.
Jedi, like a full grown Wookiee, not a baby Wookiee.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird. A Wookiee Jedi.
Because the Force is in everyone.
Yeah.
Well,
it's in everything.
If you allow yourself to feel the Force, correct?
Well, no, because if the midichlorians.
I know that we can get into debate. We can get into debate.
I'd like to get being able to get into.
I know, because they changed that shit because it was like and they were talking about midichlorians, and then others are saying, well, anybody can channel the Force. The Force is one with me. I'm one with the Force. The Force is one with me. Or if you're a Sith, what is it? I master the Force, or the Force obeys me, or something like that.
Yes. Yeah, right. But wait, because see now, remember in Finn was raised a homeboy, right?
Mm-hmm.
They thought that he had the Force. He could use it a little bit, but not Jedi worthy.
He wasn't trained.
Didn't matter. He still couldn't use the Force the same way.
No, I didn't mean that. I meant like he didn't get any kind of skills.
Right, because his midichlorian count wasn't to what he needed to be to be able to
anybody
use.
could use the Force, but you can move like something really
small. Like you could turn around and you can move that cup across the table. Yeah, right. But
save it.
Yeah, like that's why when he was fighting with the lightsaber, you know what I'm saying? He could only do but so much. He couldn't turn around and lift his hand and and stop. Whatever, and catch.
I was thinking of that scene we were talking about the other night. The last time we spoke about Star Wars, not the other night, but 2 weeks of nights.
Right.
When Yoda just opens his thing and
and
grabs the lightsaber with the Force. Yeah.
Right, exactly. But the way that he was hopping around wasn't because he was athletic. You know what I'm saying? It was the Force he was able to use to toss himself around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The midichlorian count was.
And he mastered it.
There's in the Battlefront games, which are the Star Wars games, whenever you play as Yoda in the most recent one, even though it's third person, so the camera's behind Yoda.
Right.
Whenever he takes out his lightsaber, from behind, you see him move the cloak, and then he grabs it with the other hand.
Oh, okay,
nice.
okay.
That's awesome.
That's sweet, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
But that's actually a specific lightsaber form. That one, I don't know that one.
It is the one that shows you that I'm super, super Force sensitive.
Yeah, exactly, because it's all Force heavy with acrobatics.
Yes.
Very acrobatic.
Yes.
I guess it's supposed to, be harder to hit. I guess that's the whole purpose of it.
Right.
So you're moving quick and it's hard to hit.
I also believe it's one of the only
martial art.
Yeah.
I believe it's also one of the only forms for light side forms that allows throwing.
Okay.
Because they show that not only in the Clone Wars a bunch, but also in the actual movies. When he's fighting those clones, at one point he throws it straight through a clone.
That's right. Yeah.
What's that? The lightsaber?
Yeah.
Yeah. Something else.
He like zoom, 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 and he tosses it, and he's like, he like cut through a couple of them. He did his, little
because usually Sith do that kind of shit.
That is supposed to be, that's more of the Sith.
I guess that lightsaber form is probably made to like assist like smaller people. Like they probably invented it for smaller species that are smaller than. Because imagine if anybody could be a Sith. What about those? Because with those, not Sith. If anybody could use the Force, if anybody could be a Jedi,
good or bad,
any species, if they're just could be a Jedi, right? Could you imagine what are those little creatures from the Mandalorian that like repair things?
Yeah,
imagine if one of those, if one of those was a Force wielder.
What are they called, Justin?
Jawas.
Yeah, Jawas.
No, not the Jawas. The ones that they're like mechanics. They're really short and they're like, remember, like
they have the hoods with the eyes.
No, not the hoods. No, not the hoods. They're like little mechanic guys. The ones that like Grogu was trying to eat. Like, no, they mean no.
Oh yeah, like the fact that one of those they could be Force sensitive. That would be insane.
Yeah.
They would need to use the same lightsaber form as Yoda because they're too small to like.
They're the size of a hand.
Of course, it would have to be in.
So to me, that lightsaber form is the acrobatic one is probably just designed for little people.
Well, see,
listen, when you join Little League, right? You got little shoulder pads. you got bigger shoulder pads.
Well, wait, I think so. Like Justin was saying, they're as big as his hand, right?
Yeah.
So now, do all Jedi need to have a lightsaber? Or could it be them, like they're Jedi and they can use the Force to build things?
It's a staple requirement to be, I think, a Jedi Knight, or maybe one step down from Knight. You have to have a lightsaber in order to be.
Okay.
And there is accounts in extended universe stuff and deep lore stuff of certain Jedis having like very specific lightsabers catered to them. In the Clone Wars, that same episode we were just talking about where the Padawans go to get their crystals, that teacher that they're with, his lightsaber is a cane. It's his walking stick.
That's right. I forgot it.
They make them akin to whatever they need them to be. So like for those little guys, it might be, two little chopsticks for lightsabers, but
Well, for them, because they're always fixing shit, it could have been the screwdriver or a hammer.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they could have used it.
Yeah. I mean, think about that shit. Hell yeah. Run up on them, fucking just shoot that shit straight to the head. Or
just knock you in the head and knock you out.
Right. Or take out the Achilles and you turn around and you're hitting the floor and,
On the opposite end of that spectrum, there is a species in the Jedi Survivor games, the games with Cal Kestis, called the Gendai, and there's only one because they're a very rare species of like half cybernetics that are absolutely massive dudes, and they look super scary. I'm trying to pull one up here.
Oh yeah, on the flip side, you can have a giant species that's
right.
A Jedi. It can be a Jedi or a Force user.
And they're freaking putting out the shit the size of a tree.
Giants.
Yes,
Why do they have to have it?
Why not?
Imagine what their lightsaber would look like. It would be like a telephone pole.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Here we go.
A hole with a beam coming out of it.
Yeah.
This is Plagueis from the Fallen Order series.
Say again.
Yeah, this is one of the villains in Cal Kestis's games. They are like half cybernetic species. That guy's like 9 feet tall and like 500 pounds.
Those are actually in the. I'm not. I see. No, I promise there won't be any spoilers. But those are in the.
That's pretty freaking.
Those are actually in the Mandalorian Grogu movie.
Okay. That's really cool.
There's a Gendai there.
Yeah, they're guarding the huts.
And that's really cool. So these guys are like. And this guy fights Cal Kestis, a Jedi, like a full-blown actual survivor Jedi. And
if I have a skill, what type of metal? Sorry, do you need?
I'm not giving away too much
with a lightsaber.
I don't think there's anything that can actually stop the lightsaber.
Yes, there's a metal Mandalorian. That one woman had that staff that was made of the beskar.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like a super chrome metal that bounces lightsabers right off of it.
Yeah,
Well,
beskar is like the strongest metal, I think.
I thought that it was
galaxy.
just like a deflector kind of shit. I didn't think that it would like actually stop, like like boom.
Yeah, it's the only metal I know that can. I think Durasteel holds up for a shorter amount of time, but it not permanently.
Yes, I believe beskar, it fully refracts the light of laser guns and lightsabers off of it.
Yeah,
and that's why every time you see beskar, it's usually super like chromy.
Yeah,
got it.
You guys are super nerds.
We love it. We love it. Love it. So now you have the scene when Anakin is talking to Palpatine again.
Right.
And he reveals that he's the Sith Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it's funny. He's like, I remember in this scene, he says something like, I could strike you down now.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But you could see he's like.
And he starts changing.
Yeah.
But like the way Palpatine is in that scene, he is enjoying every minute. And he looks almost, I hate to say it, I'm not going to sound X-ray, but he looks aroused.
Yeah. I think that's,
he's like,
that's kind of the point, no?
Yeah, right. That's the kind of the point.
It's like kind of the point, I feel like at that point, the room is probably full of it, right?
Yeah.
It's probably all in the air around him. He knows that he's infected him. He could probably see it and smell it on him right then and there. So I think he just already knows what's going to happen at that point.
Yep.
Yeah. Super manipulation.
And it's interesting, too, that he still goes and turns him in. Anakin.
Oh, yeah.
He does. That's right.
He goes to Mace Windu. And it's funny, too, because that's the only time that Mace Windu actually starts like trusting in him, too.
Yeah.
He goes, he said, what did he say? He goes, if what you said is true, you have gained my trust.
Right.
He said it like that. Like, oh, shit. Like,
and he meant it.
Yeah. And that's a whole shit, bro.
He should have backed his ass up.
But they tried. Well, he tried. Nobody else believed
there and tried meditating. He
Yeah.
was trying to do it.
He was
trying to do it. And, that scene, now we got to talk about that scene. That first of all, Lord Sidious, Darth Sidious, that twirl he does. Now, in the books, they describe that as it's supposed to like, you hear him go, and he does that like twirl with the, supposedly that it's so loud that it actually disorients you. And he uses that and, like, he takes out Kit Fisto. I forget what the other Jedi is. Which one?
Plo Koon is there.
I thought Plo Koon dies in Order 66 when he's flying the jet.
Yeah, but I believe he's there for the arrest.
Yeah, no, he's just there. He means
so before.
So he's there.
I'm saying when when everyone goes into the room, you're talking about it's Mace Windu, Kit Fisto. I believe Plo Koon is also there.
No. It's definitely not Plo Koon because he kills everybody except Mace Windu at that point.
Okay, then no, you're right. You're right. Yeah, he's not there.
So he takes but he does it so fast.
Right.
He kills like 3 Jedi in like 2 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
And then all that's left is Mace Windu. And the only reason that Mace Windu can hold up to him is because he Vapad. I've heard it pronounced 2 different ways. But anyway, he uses Vapad, which is a lightsaber form that reflects dark side energy back on it, specifically designed to fight Sith.
Right.
It's actually a Sith lightsaber form that they somehow turn
with anybody.
I forget what the original one is called, but Mace Windu made a light version out of it, I think. I don't know if he created it or someone else did. Maybe do you know, Justin? Or
I can't recall. I know what like you're talking about. I do not remember who it was.
But it's like it was originally like a Sith lightsaber form that the Jedi turned light side, but it actually is designed to like fight Sith, like to reflect it back. That's why he's able to do that in that scene when he's using the lightning and he's just reflecting.
Right, it doesn't affect him. That's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
It's also it's the exact same technique that Yoda uses to catch it. Yoda also knows it. Yeah, that's also supposed to be like another sort of like flex scene for Yoda because he's very clearly shows you 1 or 2 art forms that he knows for sure, and then he also has that on top of it.
Exactly.
Well, Yoda was catching it by his hand. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that's another technique that is definitely not part of his other form that he just happens to know.
Because he's been around so long.
Been around so long. He probably knows most of that.
More than one art is what you're saying.
Right, yes. Yeah.
That's like a very common thing that they do for Jedi that are older.
Thing already.
Right.
Yeah.
For what? Jedi what?
For older Jedi. Anyone that's been a Jedi for a long time, they always like to show you some moment where they very clearly know more than one form. That happens with Obi-Wan and Darth Maul's very, very final fight, where they are standing there looking at each other like they're fencing, and they both just switch forms over and over again in front of each other.
Yep. Yeah, that's
By the way,
cool.
did you see someone made that with AI and it looks fucking amazing?
Which one?
That they redid that scene and it looks like a live action scene.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
My God.
Yeah.
Even the scene when he's like, will you avenge us or whatever, with Maul at the end.
Yeah.
But anyway, let me get back on track. No, but so you have that scene right now. Now there's the scene that a lot of people I think don't even realize is happening is when Mace Windu is reflecting back the lightning and you start seeing Palpatine's face change.
Right.
Two things are happening. He is burning.
Right.
But also, his Sith glamour is getting undone. Because even if that didn't happen, that scene, he would still have like a slightly not deformed face. He would have like dark around his eyes and the Sith eyes. The melty face, that's from the fucking lightning. But the rest of him, like all that dark eyes, that is. But he uses that to make it look like so he doesn't have to hide his form anymore. He uses that to like the Jedi did this to me.
Right.
So,
Yeah, they do have. That gets explored in a couple of other series. The use of like Sith glamour effect.
Yes,
I can't remember if it was a High Republic story or an Old Republic story where the glamour was so good that he was able to be fully other people.
He was able to like shapeshift and shit. Wow,
that's crazy.
Or appear as
it was I want to say it was Old Republic because it was just like a story about a single like Sith knight that got so good at glamoring that he was made like a covert operative.
Well, yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like I said, they need to do that. They need to do a fucking Old Republic series. They really do because
that's what I was saying before. It's the biggest missed opportunity so far is that we don't have it.
It's so mystical too. It's so like it's more like on par with like medieval lore.
Yeah, it's very like high fantasy.
Right.
In like a Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones sort of fashion.
Right. Even the characters, even the Sith characters, like what's his name? The one that has the he's got
is that Darth Bane?
Yeah, not Darth Bane. I forget what his name is, but he's got like a mask over his face. And then there's another one who had his jaw ripped off.
Yeah, that's right. Who was
Darth
that?
Malgus, I believe.
Is it Vizsla or no?
Darth Malgus is the one who has the cool mouth thing.
He has a breath. He kind of looks like Vader if he wasn't wearing a helmet and he had just a breathalyzer.
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy.
Breathalyzer.
Malgus is, he's crazy looking. Hold on.
How much you been drinking?
I think you meant to say breathing apparatus.
There you go.
How much you been drinking, Vader?
I have not had a drink. Yeah, that's fucking great.
I just had one.
Yeah.
Here we go. There's a shot of Darth Malgus for you.
Look at that. That's crazy shit.
Yeah. And he also had this cool, his hilt had not serrated, but sharp-edged blades on it, so that if he got close enough to you, he could just jam them into you.
And wasn't there another one who actually did have his like jaw ripped off?
Yes,
by a lightsaber, and he had. This is why I love it. This is why I love the Old Republic.
Yeah,
they're. You know what? They're sitting on a gold mine, and I'm sure someone's like, "Well, we're waiting for
master did it. Right? Was it his master who ripped off his?
I do believe so.
Yeah.
Well, see, so it's not a missed opportunity.
It's a weighted opportunity.
This is my personal biggest miss.
I can do it
from here. I'll make it so that it's the right thing.
I could do a whole.
My biggest miss for the Old Republic stuff: lightsaber spears.
I'm just gonna. You know what? Oh yeah.
Saber spears are like the biggest miss. Like, why does no one else have a saber spear?
Spear. You want to see this? You gotta look at this, Kenny. It's half lightsaber, half spear. Spear, lightsaber.
Yeah, they technically call them lightsaber pikes.
Wait a minute, don't they have that in the That's in one of the movies that they have those.
You're thinking of Darth Maul with the double edge, but that's
no. These guys were fighting.
They had a spear on one end, and they had the lightsaber.
Yeah, I mean, in Clone Wars, there's the Noble Guard has the same style as Darth Maul.
That?
Yeah.
No, what's his name? Oh my God, Han Solo and Leia's son. Fucking name.
Kylo Ren. When he was coming around and they were
3 minutes.
He had these guys.
His Knights of Ren, they didn't have lightsabers. They had, I think theirs were vibro, right?
I don't know.
Were they vibro weapons?
In my timeline, in my Mandalorian.
Hold on. Let me look at the Knights of Ren.
Mandela effect. My Mandela.
What the hell does that mean?
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
Yeah. So the Knights of Ren, he's the only one that has a lightsaber. All of the other Knights of Ren have very specific, I believe, vibro weapons.
Okay.
Right. But yeah, like I'm saying, they're sitting on a gold mine and they could do it. They could so do it. They could so do it. And you know what? They could do a whole 9 movies. They could do like 9 movies.
And now
they could do like 3 trilogies on the Old Republic.
Yeah,
with Darth Malgus and all
it's
them.
the most rich.
But now
it would be like kind of like Star Wars meets Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, definitely.
No, it is. It really is that.
Because now we haven't heard
or no.
I was going to say, it would be Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones, Star Wars.
Yeah,
like that is what Old Republic is.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't come up with anything yet, like anything past the Rise of Skywalker, right? They haven't had anything.
No, they won't. They probably aren't going to touch on even further into the future for a long time.
Right. So then with that, they can just turn around and, you know what I mean? And go to the Old Republic
they should.
Yeah, they have so much established beforehand that they still need to touch on and like make more media for, that I don't know that we'll see more like sequel type content for a while.
Yeah. Because there's nothing.
I know they're doing the Starfighter movie.
Yeah.
But like I don't know if that's going to take place after the last.
I'm not sure that it's been announced or not, or I just can't remember.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, well, for whatever reason, right now, bro, they're holding back all of these. I don't know if it's Disney or Lucasfilms or whoever needs to write this fucking content. But then they need to turn around and they need to just start putting these movies out, because it's not like they're not making money. You know what I mean? Everybody goes to see these things. Everybody's watching them on the streaming channels, on Disney Plus. So it's like, release these fucking things, bro.
Yeah.
Like, stop holding them back.
Oh, you're right.
Well,
You know?
and then the biggest problem with it too is just like that Disney, since acquiring Star Wars, is very wary of their use of it. So when stuff gets mixed reviews, they're very touch and go on if they want to keep doing Star Wars stuff. But it's like they own the whole title now, so they will continue to do something with it. It's just how much are they going to invest into it?
But even if they did it into animation, you know what I mean? There's so many people that do watch the Star Wars stories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That the animations are like, we already know we have to watch those animations.
Yeah.
We know that those are going to be the fillers and stuff.
I know it's kind of crazy to say, but I actually think that Star Wars is best portrayed in animation. You can't truly mimic the abilities of a Jedi or a Sith as easily in live action. It just doesn't come across the same way. They're supposed to be like throwing ships and jumping over buildings, basically. It's just really hard for them to portray that. It takes a very large budget to do Jedi and Sith right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm with you. And if they do the animation like the same way they did Bad Batch, bro.
Yeah, I think that they have that style is on lock. They probably have it like copywritten.
Yeah,
but they should continue to use it.
So So next in the scene. So next, I'm steering the ship again.
Yeah.
No, go back.
Order 66 is the next thing that happens, right? Because first he sends in, execute Order 66 is the very next thing that happens. So he does that, and then you start seeing the scene where it's the clones just
literally, they literally turned around. Bloop. Yeah, and they were walking forward, and then just started turned around, and
it's just that scene, and you see like how they all just get taken out systematically.
Yeah,
the music in the scene, the whole montage is just like really, really sad.
Yeah.
I think there's an interesting difference that you see in the movies. In the movies, it is truly like they get the call and they're like, yep, turn around, bam. Like it's immediate.
Yep.
What I like in the Clone Wars is seeing that it actually it takes a second. I wish that was sort of in the movies. I wish they looked slightly concussed for a moment or something, just to make it very clear what was happening, instead of just getting a call and blamming your lieutenant.
Yeah.
That's true. They should have made it look like they were going through some kind of weird thing.
But then at the same time, the way that the story tells it is it was hard programming, so it is kind of okay if they just turn around.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But the Clone Wars, it was so good. Like this, Rex crying as he's resisting the order.
Yeah. Struggling very hard with it too.
Ahsoka escaping. Also, I know I don't want to go off the rails too much, but that whole scene, they painted all their masks to look like Ahsoka's her markings on her face, because they all have different markings for that species, and they made it look like her markings, and then all of a sudden they just turned on her.
Yeah.
That's.
And the thing that makes that one so good, just that whole episode, is that she's stuck on a star cruiser.
Right.
Yeah.
In space.
Right.
Yeah.
With an army of a star cruiser full of clones.
Yeah. Yeah. That's insane.
How did she do?
I
don't remember that.
She got out.
Yeah.
She makes it out. You should, I don't want to spoil it because you should absolutely watch that final season at the very least. But miraculously, by the grace of God, makes it out.
Yeah, she used the Force, bro.
Use the Force.
Yeah.
Use the Schwartz.
So anyway, so that whole Order 66 happens. It's just horrible. And now you have the most famous scene in the entire movie. And I would even argue that that's the scene that adds the most continuity to, or most value to the original trilogy, is the scene now when, he's on Mustafar and, Padmé comes out and she tries talking to him and you can see he's just far gone. And then all of a sudden Obi-Wan comes and that whole scene happens. And,
you betrayed me.
Yeah.
It's the first time too.
Empire.
Your empire.
Yeah, there you go.
It's the first time that you truly, most of the interactions in both the Clone Wars and the movies between Obi-Wan and Anakin are that of brothers.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the first and really only time where he shows up as his father.
Right.
And he's pissed. He's the most mad he could possibly be at him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I think he should have played that a little bit smarter though, because
it made it I think it's part of the reason that the clash happens is that he, for the first time in his life, is approaching Anakin as a father figure, which is something he's literally never had. And I think that the volatility of that, the grifting between them, is what makes them fight.
But the whole way he came out after Padmé, and it looked like Padmé was in on it. You know what I mean? He should just came out to begin with.
Right.
But fucking he just jumped ahead of Padmé.
It wouldn't have mattered.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he did. It really made it look like she told on him.
Yeah.
I went and got dad.
Yeah, exactly.
No, he should have just jumped ahead of her, or as she's landing, he should have just been like, "Hey, I'm here. Stay in here. I got this."
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But instead,
Yeah. There was something I saw.
Definitely a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Also, just to backtrack real quick, when we were talking about Order 66, I would have pissed my pants if I was the clone standing next to Yoda.
Yeah.
That guy got done so dirty, so fast.
So fast.
Right. So we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Imagine you get on your little hollow thing. Hey, you got to kill the Master Yoda.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
This is going to go swimmingly.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. But again, there was a few of them that, that they put up that fight. They're like, yo, what the hell is going on? But the Jedi, and I think that now sidebar for me in my own head.
They got caught.
They're too fucking nice, bro.
Yeah.
They're too nice. It's not that they're because
nice?
The Jedi.
Oh.
You know what I mean? I understand, you have this still that level of peace. You're on the light side and, you don't kill just like that, but bro, they turned around and they're fucking shooting at your ass. You need to defend yourselves. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of them got killed way too quickly for being Master Jedi.
I know that those scenes in the movie are incredibly, incredibly brief.
Right.
But you can see that even in those brief scenes that everyone looks super confused.
Right. Yeah, I know. I get it. I hear you. I understand. It's just me, I don't know. I guess
it's a tough watch. It's a tough watch to watch everyone just kind of get gunned down fairly easily.
Yeah, no, I hear you, bro. I get you, Justin. I know what you're saying. I'm just bro. I just feel like they need to be on their toes all the time, or should have been.
It should have been
all the time. You know what I mean? And I think that's what
Sith knew exactly how to do it. So.
Also, that's seen huge impact for Clone Wars enjoyers. You watch a bunch of people die there.
Right.
Plo Koon is in so many episodes in Clone Wars and is one of my favorite Jedis.
He gets taken out when he's flying.
Yeah,
right.
He gets gunned down while he's flying. And again, that's so on the nose because he's part of the fighter pilot special forces guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Oh man. I love that. I mean, listen, I enjoyed the movie so much and for me, Star Wars, it's I feel like I'm there. You know what I mean? I'm like, block it, do this, stop that, don't listen to him.
So now,
I stand up in front of my TV, my hands on my fucking head. I'm like, no, that's
so
insane.
So then you have that scene when they fight and everything.
Right.
And a lot of people kind of don't like that fight scene because it looks like they're just dancing. But the people people don't understand about that scene is that
not when I
they
look at
can't hit each other. They're missing each time, and they're dodging as they're missing. And that was probably one of the best choreographed lightsaber scenes I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's done so well, and the way it ends is just so good.
Do it.
Yeah.
The higher ground scene,
Don't do it.
He goes, it's over, Anakin. I got the higher ground.
Yes.
Don't do it. Don't try.
Yeah.
He goes, you underestimate my power. Don't try.
Yeah. It had nothing to do with the power, bro.
Yeah. You underestimate my power.
Yeah. It had nothing to do with the power, bro. It was about the skill right now. You know what I mean? I'm a better swordsman.
And that particular move that he does, that was the move that that Darth Maul did. That was the move that Darth Maul did to kill Qui-Gon.
Oh,
no.
Wait,
the move that Obi-Wan did not really kill, to slice Darth Maul in half. And he studied that move, and he wanted to do the move, and that's why Obi-Wan says to him, don't try it. He knows exactly what he's going to do, that move, because apparently the lore is that Anakin was like obsessed with that particular, how Obi-Wan had took out Darth Maul. He was so obsessed with that, and he studied it over and over and over. And when he saw, Obi-Wan knew, and maybe through the Force, he just knew that he was going to do that exact move, and he told him, don't try it.
Yeah.
And he said, don't try it. I know what you're going to do. And he's like, I already know how to prepare myself for this. Oh, there goes your arms and legs.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah. And that's when his eyes start to turn to yellow.
Yeah. That's right when it happens to him. That's when he I think he takes so much damage that he himself is probably in a way almost losing his own glamour.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
But wait, would it be the glamour yet? Because he still hadn't turned all the way.
So here's the thing. At that point, right, he leaves that temple with Sith eyes.
Yeah, brought it on himself.
But then the whole time on Mustafar, he looks normal.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true. Yeah, so he had already come over.
Right.
He was already on the dark side.
My brother, Anakin,
I loved you. Yeah.
And you know what? That scene, though, that's probably one of the most heartbreaking scenes. I will tell you, last year, Chase and I went to go see it in the movie theater. People were crying.
Yeah,
the guy next to me was crying. I was tearing up. I'm not going to lie. I'm telling you, that
That's
scene.
the lightsaber fight I've ever seen.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You get the next scene is this, is kind of like the wrap up with the movie. And that's where Padmé's given birth.
Right.
And they show both scenes happen simultaneously. As Padmé's given birth, they're showing the scene as Vader coming up first they're showing the machine, putting everything in.
No, wasn't it when they were showing, wasn't when they were saying that she's going into labor, they were showing Vader being picked up and taken into the ship.
Oh, was that?
Yeah.
Well, what was the scene when he was coming up then?
That was after the
That's
kid.
the very end.
That's the very, okay, so he was getting picked up at the same time.
She started saying she's going into labor, that the robot said she's going into labor. Then that's when they're picking up Vader. He's going in.
Now,
when they're starting to work on him, go ahead.
We need to talk about what you sent me.
Go ahead.
What we talked. So there's a theory that someone plaused that is a really good theory. You sent it to me. And that is, now remember how they're like, we're just losing her. Like it looks like she's lost the will to live.
Yep.
So there's a theory that was actually Darth Sidious
that was
killing her, like force. Because don't forget, fucking Darth Vader was able to force choke people who weren't even in the same room as him.
Yep.
But he didn't realize that babies were born.
So, no, that's the whole
maybe
thing.
He just needed to know kill Padmé. He may not know about the babies.
Yeah.
He just, you know what I mean? He just knew to use the Force to kill her because he could feel her specifically.
Right. Because nobody knew that she was pregnant.
Yeah.
So that then, taking the kids and hiding the kids,
maybe
it wouldn't have mattered to him.
Maybe he couldn't feel the kids. He could only feel her because he was trying.
There's even an argument that maybe he would not normally be that strong, like strong enough to do that from a different planet. But at this point in time, the dark side is coursing through the universe.
Yes, that's true. Because Order 66 and all that. And the Empire but
Luke and Leia, they weren't born on a planet.
No, but what Justin's saying is that the reason why Palpatine has so much that he could probably kill her through the Force is because there's so much dark side energy running through the galaxy.
He wasn't in the same places though. Where either. Yeah, no, he wasn't there at all.
Yeah, I was going to say, because
that's pretty powerful shit.
They were in light speed, trying to get to whatever,
So that is a theory.
Yeah.
There's back to the the moment in which he tells him not to try it is a really fun one for me, because there's a lot of like martial arts analysis for the Clone Wars and obviously the trilogy episodes. Obi-Wan does a lot of historic European martial arts type fencing, which is a lot of telling your opponent ahead of time and knowing what they're going to do ahead of time. And I think that's a very interesting thing that is embedded in his character. The same way that like Count Dooku is embedded in traditional fencing with that special lightsaber that's hilted, it's turned like a fencing sword. And also you see it in the way that he fights. He starts every single fight like a fencer does with the.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. So you just said that.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I said, I mean, because of their. So now here's the other thing. When they show the, like when Qui-Gon was fighting, and when they would all use their swords or whatever, they just how the whole Jedi looked.
Yeah,
they all had super skills. You know what I mean? Like they really, like they were like samurai.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, I mean Space Samurai.
Yeah,
that is pretty much the annotated version, right?
Yeah, and then you see how they lost it. You know what I mean? As the episodes went on, that they weren't fighting the same way after Order 66. I mean, I get it. I understand. There's nobody there to train or whatever. Yeah, and
they should have been ready for it. But they weren't.
Well, I'm just saying, like, just because there was no more masters and Padawans, you know what I mean? That you just and then see how they lost it.
The other thing is, no one was ready for it. But there is, if you go and find it in the extended universe stuff, there is several stories of people who were at least able to make it out.
Right.
Like Cal Kestis' exception was he was a Padawan when it happened, and they were on a Star Cruiser like Ahsoka was, except his master sacrificed his own life getting Cal Kestis off that ship.
Right.
And that's the only reason that he got to live. He was, he happened to be one of the few Padawans at the time that was actually going out with the Jedi Knights to fight in the Galactic War.
So crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So fucking great.
That's why I say him and Ahsoka, very similar sort of stories where they're like Padawans that were Padawans at the worst time possible.
Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's a very missed opportunity not having Cal Kestis be in anything yet.
Yeah, right.
They really need to start doing stuff with some of these characters.
Yeah, because it could be shorts, the same way they do in Visions, the same way they did Legends. You know what I mean?
Right, or like bring it back as animation style.
Right. Yeah.
I'll take seeing Ahsoka and Cal Kestis in animation version if we can't get
a live action.
The two actors to be in the same place at the same time.
Right. Yeah, I would too. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you all day.
That'd be cool.
Oh,
I would love that.
So the last scene is, like we mentioned, the very end when he's coming up, and they kind of do when him coming up like Frankenstein.
Oh,
they really did. They did kind of go with the Frankenstein vibes.
They did.
Definitely did that on purpose. You knew they pulled that shit.
Right.
And the way Palpatine just smiles, like it's like, in your anger, it seems.
Yeah. Put the hoodie.
In your anger, it seems you killed her.
Yeah.
It fucking breaks everything.
Crushing shit, ripping the fucking table apart that he's on.
Man.
Bro, listen.
Super Frankenstein moment, yeah.
Yeah, big time.
They even do the sparks and everything when he crushes everything.
They did.
Yeah.
Everything's like getting crushed.
They were very
He literally does the same, like reaching to the sky at nothing and sparks everywhere.
Because then he couldn't feel her anymore. Yeah. Because I don't think at that moment she had passed. I don't think she was dead yet.
I think she was dying.
You know what I mean? Right, she was dying, and he couldn't feel her.
Yeah.
So that then it was easy, to tell him, yo, she's dead, bro.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. You know what I mean? And that's what, that shit was so insane. So
but he
crazy.
tried to kill her, though.
Well, but he did it having a moment.
Oh,
because no, I'm not justifying it.
It's not like we're talking about an abuser. Oh, he's just he gets angry sometimes.
He takes people out.
Fuck.
I had to pull back. I was going to do a joke, but it was it wasn't him, because he thought that he was going to be able to protect her and keep her. So then when for him, it felt like she wasn't listening to him. And that was also a pet peeve of his.
He felt betrayed.
Well, because he felt that people weren't listening to him. and they didn't let him have a voice. So if you don't let me speak, you're not listening to what I'm saying to you. You're not hearing me in any way, shape, or form. And here it is. I trusted you as the love of my life, and you bring him. You know what I mean? And that's me.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
like a lot of the choices that he makes are seemingly very human for the moment he makes them in.
Right.
Because he has that kind of power.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's our discussion of Clone Wars. I'd like to get into a real quick end discussion. I think the movie has aged well. People appreciate the prequels more now than I think they did when they were out. They weren't perceived well. We did talk about that.
I agree.
Meme helped bring it back a little bit. There's so many memes. Do it.
Right. Yeah.
Or hello there.
Yeah. A lot of those.
The Clone Wars definitely elevated them.
Right.
Massively,
right?
Yeah.
Massive, and the whole Hayden Christensen redemption arc.
Yeah.
He's beloved now. People love him.
Yeah,
it
worked out
so
good for him.
much when it was happening. So
it happens to a lot of people who are famous. Not to change the subject, but they don't come out so lucky.
Right.
He weathered the storm, and then it came out at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's more common than it should be.
Yeah, hell yeah. Fucking insane. Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Just the final one thing to say is that, this isn't just the end of the prequels. It's the emotional center of the entire Star Wars saga.
Right. Yeah. Yep. So. That tearjerker. This is like, what's next? What's going to be? Oh my God. How's it going to,
Well, then later, the babies get separated, right?
Yeah.
They go to a different,
It does a lot of what the movie has to do in that last 10 minutes.
Yep.
Exactly.
I fucking love this shit.
Yeah. So this was an awesome episode. This is the longest episode we have ever done.
Yeah.
What are we up to? What's the time?
We're almost
at 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Almost 2 hours.
This is a record breaker for us.
Yeah. Thanks, Justin, for being here.
So this
episode, we apologize.
You're welcome, and also I'm sorry for it being 2 hours.
2 episodes. Yeah. So we will be breaking this up. Well, if you're listening now, you're hearing the second part of the episode.
Yeah. We'll put this in the middle somewhere. Yeah. For shizzle my nizzle. So with that, thank you everybody for listening, watching, follow, subscribe, all that other good shit.
Go wherever you find your podcast.
Anywhere you listen to podcasts. We're on the YouTube, all that good stuff. So love, peace, and hair grease.
Live long and prosper.
And use the dark side.